Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, viewers. We've got a very, very special guest. I must tell you what, me and him we connect on a lot of levels. I've actually learned so much from him. Some things which I can't tell over here, and because that's just a secret, that it's called the trade secret, the teacher secret, and a lot of things which I can actually say over here. Well, guys, child photo over there. He's actually doing a very cultural thing, and actually ask him to tell you what that is. I already know what he's doing because I know exactly what he's doing over there. But we've got some photos behind him as well. So probably tell him also to speak about the photos which are behind him. And he's none other than it's Mr. Patel, our lovely and really well loved science teacher by the students as well, not just the teachers. So I'll pass it on to him. Very welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you for having me. Must say, I've been waiting when was my interview coming up. So thank you for having me. Like, honestly, looking forward to have a chat with everyone, tell everybody about me as well, more than what they actually see, I guess, at school. I'm to an extent an open book as well. So yeah.
Well, look, tell us about the photo. I know what you're doing, but people would like to know what you're doing. You're just looking. Probably seems like you're looking at the plane because your mum did not take you overseas. You probably can tell us what you're doing.
Yes, that's a photo of me flying a kite. So it's one of my favorite childhood festivals that also happens like 2 or 3 days after my birthday, and it's called Uttarayan, where you have about thousands of like people flying kites for like 2 days. And the idea is to, I guess, it's like a competition in the sky. And before the festival, you can go and buy like the best kites you can get, the strings as well. I'm pretty sure they dip the strings in. They say they dip the strings in glass, so so that way when you're flying the kites and competing, the idea is you cut other people's kite while they're in the atmosphere.
That's right.
Um,
It's a very, very big festival. You're right.
yeah, and yeah, it's great fun. I used to love that festival itself, and obviously the concept of going out with the family, buying kites, also with your friends and the neighborhood. So your entire neighborhood gets involved. You see people who are running up and down the streets to try and catch the flight that has already been cut, and obviously slowly making its way down. People gathering poles. So they normally get about, I think, about broomsticks, so 3 or 4 broomsticks put together and tied with a rope, and then you use that to try and catch the kite that is obviously slowly making its way down.
Well, look, I tell you what, it's very exciting, and people probably don't know. They might be thinking to fly a kite's very easy. To actually get it in the air, it's an art in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And then and also people think it's all like, I remember in Malaysia when I used to go fly kites. You fly the kite and just sit there for like half an hour and you just sit there with your kite. And it's like, well, that was it. And that wasn't, that's not much fun. It's about the competition that takes place in the sky. And it took me a while to obviously learn how to fly a kite as well myself. And you can't really rely on others helping you every time. So eventually you pick it up.
Yeah, look, name did you say in India it's called?
It's called Uttarayan.
Uttarayan. In Pakistan,
Yeah.
actually, it's called Basant. That's the
Ah,
festival.
nice. Yeah. Is it in Jan as well?
Yeah, it's kind of close to that, and it's a very big from the north of Pakistan. It comes from Punjab.
Yeah.
And so they've got it's like a proper festival. They're dancing, they've got music, and
Oh
the
yeah.
kites are flying. As you said about this, the string as well. The people actually cut their fingers. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've
They
actually
do.
never flew it myself.
No, they absolutely do. I used to have a lot of scars on my fingers. You actually get a special, I guess, like a band-aid that you put on your finger when you're flying the kite to avoid obviously slashing your fingers. But you definitely do. And then also when you're not flying the kite, you use the strings to check out how strong or how sharp your strings are. So you obviously try and again, another competition. You try and cut each other's strings as a kid. So yeah.
Well, tell us about the photo behind you. It looks like you're walking the aisle. You're getting married.
I am. So yeah, this is obviously a little photo. Photo frames that we have about our wedding and obviously our time together as well before the wedding. So the one that's down there is me walking down the aisle. Obviously, that's more about her culture than my culture because she is Catholic as well. But it was a lovely day. We did it in Bicentennial Park in Homebush, and was during springtime as well. And we had everything set up between a couple of rows of trees. And yeah, that was just us after making our vows and just walking down the aisle.
Well, you are from a different culture, so probably you also went down the Catholic way of marriage. So is that how you got married?
Yes, that's how I got married.
Oh, that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, so
That's
officially I
more
got
power to
married that
them.
way. But then there's also a photo behind me. I think that you can see up that one. So that's we had a sort of an Indian Hindu ceremony couple
So
of
you
days.
went around, they go around the fire, yeah?
I didn't do that.
You didn't do that, okay?
No. So that's when you officially get married.
Okay.
But we just did you normally have a ceremony like a few days before that as well. As you know, Indian, our cultural weddings can go on for a while,
Oh yeah,
a
four
few
days.
days.
Pakistan,
Yeah,
4 days.
yeah, exactly. So we picked one. So we still had a, I guess, an Indian priest. We call him Pandit. So he did the whole ceremonies and everything for us as well, but not officially married. And then officially we got married was the Catholic way.
Oh,
But we
look,
compromised. We did it outside the church, which was, trust me, was very, very difficult to get permission. As a matter of fact, we actually got permission to get married outside the church with the priest only about 3 days before our marriage day was set.
you must be really stressing.
I wasn't, she was. I can tell you that. I was like, it will happen, don't worry. But yeah, she was definitely very, very stressed. She likes things to be very organized. And I'm the opposite. I just go with the flow. I'm like, eventually things will fall in its place.
Well, you're like me. They what they call in religion terms. They call them the Taoist. So
Yeah,
the religion from China, they believe in Tao. Everything you just go with the nature.
yeah.
Everything's gonna fall in place.
That's been me since I've moved to Australia. And even when I was in Malaysia as well, when I was doing my IB, my mom and dad would pester me about everything, about studying and this, and also when I moved to Australia as well, and I was just like, don't worry, things will fall into place. So all my visa applications that I applied has always happened literally on the day before it was due.
Well, look here, I'll tell you what, I mean, I think the men are very similar. So, yeah, I was like that as well. I don't know if I've said in other show, when I was coming to see my wife for the first time from UK, this is a funny thing. I've actually just joined the masjid as an assistant imam. I spoke to the president and I said, I'm getting married and
Yep.
my to-be wife is in Australia. And he's like, okay, so how long are you going for? And I said, I'm going for 7 days. And he looked at me. He said, do you know where Australia is? I'm like, yeah, it's not probably 7, 8 hours. It's like you're gonna get there in 2 days. You're gonna get there in 2 days, and you're going for 7 days. You'll be on the plane for 4 days. And I thought he's just making things up, And I'm like, you know
Yeah,
what? 7 days is good for me. So I only realized when I sat on the plane, because even when I saw the ticket, I was in this delusion,
yeah,
disbelief that's not gonna happen. So sat on a plane from Gatwick Airport, that's South London, and got to Australia. That was Friday afternoon. Got to Australia 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. That's when I realized he was really right. It was Friday afternoon. I sat on a plane. I got to Australia at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
no. I always like even I remember when I was probably about 21. I decided to go overseas with friends. I had about a group of about 14, 15 friends. So some were from Sydney, and then some were from Malaysia who were going to join me as well. So we had a decent group. But before that, I decided to go to India as well. So I was going away for about I would say 6 weeks. All I took with me was a backpack and like a normal, like a gym bag. And I showed up to India, and my mom picked me up, and she looked at me going, is that all you brought? And I was wearing thongs and shorts, like board shorts. And I was like, how much more do you need? But obviously, for her, it's like Indian culture. When Indian families travel, I think it's our culture. When they've traveled, they have a suitcases
Oh,
just for like
oh
two
my God!
days.
You tell me what. We're just dealing with the flight attendants. You know those people on
Yeah,
the baggage control, and so you're telling them, please let me put another 5 kilos.
and it's always us. You look around, it's always seems to be us who are like, have gone over the capacity of
Yeah,
the weight limit.
we
And
call it the brown people syndrome. All right, look, my first question to you is, what is something you always wanted to learn?
so something I always wanted to learn was drums,
Oh,
playing drums. And interesting, when I was in high school and when I was never interested in playing musical instruments that much. So I was always a lot more into my sports. And this occurred to me when I was before I was teaching, I was actually working in the music industry. So I was in the music industry for about 8 years. And that's when I realized that I wished I actually learned how to play instrument, which is drums. And the fact that I've got a pretty good hand-eye coordination as well, cricket, and like to bang things as well. So yeah, drums was something I really wish I did pick up, and also kind of hope. Like my sister learned how to play piano when she was younger, but I was never really pushed towards playing any musical instruments. Um, I think something that I would probably want to do for my child is obviously try and push them to pick up something like a musical instrument. And maybe in future I might think about picking up drums as well when I have more time.
well, there's a lot of time. I tell you what, we're gonna be having holidays of 6 weeks, so
Yeah,
hopefully you can actually beat the drum. But probably, I'm thinking your child's gonna be beating your drum
yeah, I know.
in that time.
Well, I already got neighbors who are always making a bit of noise, like kicking the ball against the fence and playing music loud. I was like, okay, that's fine. Just give me about 10 years, and there'll be payback very soon.
All right, tell us, something that you say that you know well.
Something I know really well. Um, well, I guess in terms of, I'm going to keep it out of science for now. My
Yeah, please
subject.
keep me
Yeah.
out of science. Seriously, I'm gonna throw a science riddle at you then.
All right. We'll keep it out of the subject area. We try to. But I guess I would probably say cooking. So I've learned how to. So I learned how to obviously cook on my own when I moved out of home and when I moved to Australia. And yeah, so now I've obviously picked up how to cook like various cuisines, and trying to like mix them together as well. And I know that I'm decent at it is when your mother-in-law, who is Lebanese, is willing to share her kitchen with you at all times and always comes to you as well. And when we have family dinner and goes, Viv, can you please taste this for me and tell me if it's all right?
Well, that's interesting. You said you probably have curries. Yeah, I'm thinking you know curries really well.
Well, know a couple of Indian curries, but I stay out of Indian cuisine all the time. So I also try and cook, I guess, Thai food as well, quite a bit of Thai curries or Chinese. Try and sort of fusion between Western and Thai. I've done that as well a few times as well. Have my own twist on making roast, for example, but then I might have a twist by sort of using curry spices to have a roast.
Well, you got to cook us a curry now because when the school's back on, I'm looking forward for the thing that you know well. Also, on that note, I want to tell you something. If you
Yep,
know fish curry well, then I'm
yep,
going to actually tag you up with Nicola because she's looking to learn that curry. So if you know that well, so you
yeah.
both can help each other in the kitchen then. There you go.
Well,
We've got another show. You teaching Nicola how to teach the curry, and I'm actually recording an interview both of you on that day.
that's a done deal. That's a done deal. I've got a couple of recipes for fish curries. So that's an absolute done deal. And one of them, it happens to be a Thai fish curry as well. And one's obviously an Indian fish curry.
Oh, that's it. That's a deal then. Okay. Well, tell us, what is something people are usually surprised about you? One thing I know that people are usually surprised about you, that I got you bowled out many times on that day when we were playing cricket. So, so that was a surprise for you there.
Um, well, yes. Well, that was a surprise for me as well. But, I'm probably going to say it was a very bad day for me, just like India, yeah, last night. Don't even want to get
Oh,
started
oh
about
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I was, well, one of the surprise part was going to say cooking because I never did when I was younger. So that's a surprise for people that I can actually do, especially for cultural mothers. That's when they are like shocked when they realize that I do quite a bit of cooking at home. And like you said as well in your in a high school meeting, how you've picked up how to do chores at home. So that's what I do a lot as well, a lot of chores at home, which I had to learn because I was living on my own since I was about 18. So you had no
Well,
choice.
well, that's right. We're in a situation we have no choice.
Yeah.
So I don't
Um,
know. What do you call it in English? I mean, chore is something that you want to do yourself, but if you have no choice, is it still called a chore?
I know. I know. It's like, it's just a necessity that you need to do to, I guess, to, live comfortably and survive.
You know, for one of the surprises for me was, and this is I actually knew this because even well, about your marriage, so getting married to a Catholic and
Yeah.
a Lebanese Catholic,
Yeah.
and so that was a big surprise for me. I mean, I actually knew this before, but now also people that don't know, Viv's actually married because as you know, we were speaking about his marriage and how he got married in a Christian way, and actually Viv is married to so Miss Sulson, if you're listening. So he's married to a Lebanese Christian, and he probably knows to say some lines in Arabic as well. Is that a surprise? Probably you want to tell us something?
Me, I mean, Arabic.
Yeah.
For honestly, don't know much about Arabic. All I know, a little few words I've, I guess, picked up here and there, or more like my family, my mother-in-law and father-in-law would say I've said and I've kind of picked up. But one of them is like yalla yalla, and amazingly now the fact that honestly it's become part of my daily language as well. So even if I'm at school sometimes with the kids and they're doing something like yalla,
You know the version, the Hindi version, you know about that one, yeah? Jaldi jaldi.
jaldi, yeah, no, yeah, jaldi. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I guess uh, it's getting married to, I guess, Maronite. Well, Maronite Catholic wasn't a big deal for me though, because I was I was a quite a, I guess, when I was in India, obviously I was very devoted to Hinduism. So but also I felt this when I only realized that later, where it was more because everybody does it around you. So it was something that you do as a group to be accepted. And you never learn about other religions either. So I never learned about Islam either, for example. And then I moved to Malaysia, which is obviously an Islamic country. That's when I learned about other religions a lot more based on my friends that I had who were from different parts of the world.
And also a huge base, a Christian base as well in Indonesia.
Yeah,
So definitely you probably got to learn a lot. I mean, if I'm not wrong, close to 20% population actually is Christian.
yeah, exactly. And so that's when I kind of started questioning a lot more about the stuff that I was taught. And I wouldn't say I'm completely like left Hinduism. I was always still, I mean, I'm still a Hindu, but started accepting other religions and and realized the fact that, and I think we've had these conversations before as well in our staff room, that the base behind every religion is the same. It's about being a good human and doing the right thing. And then and the aspects of every religion that I agree with and the aspects that I disagree with. So it's kind of what I follow myself as when I'm living. So I don't really think about a specific religion. So getting married to a Catholic wasn't like a big deal for me, but I think it was a little bit, and I was lucky. I was very lucky that my mom also didn't have an issue with the way I was getting married. So my mom has come a long way.
Or she probably wanted a bhangra in your marriage, but she didn't get it. But she got the other version, which is the dubke, which is the
Yes,
other version she got.
yeah, she
So
did.
probably
Yeah, so definitely, we had some. Obviously, we came in with we came in with the Lebanese drums, the entry in our reception. We did the dubke, and I picked up the dubke as well through all the Lebanese weddings I have to go to. Feels like it's like once every fortnight sometimes with all the cousins.
or don't tell me you've been attending weddings in the lockdown as well.
No, 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 not at the moment. I'm talking about in the past.
That's where the numbers are coming from. Oh, oh, look, we're in difficult times. We like to say we're in difficult times, and also you've got your own challenges at the moment. What would you like to tell all of us that are listening? Anything would you like to tell us? I mean, in these difficult times, what do you do, and how that could help this whole AIA family?
um, Look, I obviously with the current times that we have, like for example, having a child very soon, but my mother can't even be here with us at all, and this is her first grandchild. I've lived away. I've moved out of house from Malaysia and lived away from my mum since I was 18. So we see each other once every 3 years. Well, sometimes it was once every 5 years, depending on situation. So based on everything that's going around now, my way of thinking is that there are people who there's far worse things that's happening in other parts of the world, right? In poorer countries, the things they're dealing with as well. Same thing with COVID. Same thing with vaccinations that we take for granted. They have to pay for it. They're not even getting vaccinations. So I kind of think that way, saying that look, whatever is going to happen is going to happen, but the people who are far worse than us. So that's a good way for me to think about that. I'm still in a better position than a lot of people around the world.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and like I've been very lucky. Like I don't know if any. I'm still not a citizen yet. I just got a residency about 4 years ago. So I was on the verge of, I
Are you
guess,
a 154?
I was sorry. Yeah, I was I was not 154. No, no, no. So I had been jumping around between visas a lot, from student visas to temporary visas, to working, getting. Uh, I was nominated by a company to work for them, so I was working with as well. So I've been jumping between visas quite a bit. At one stage, I was felt like I was just going to be getting kicked out of Australia and didn't know where I was going to go because I can't go to Malaysia. I don't have a Malaysian passport, and I don't know anybody in India that well either, and haven't lived there since I was 10 years old. So at that point, I was a bit lost. But eventually, the philosophy it will work out, and it did work out. Luckily, it did work out. So yeah, when I think about it at those times, I'm like, I still have, I'm in a lot better situation than I was in the past, and other people as well.
Well, you sound like a real Taoist to me. You know, the ancient religion. You are the one that goes with the nature. Tao will make a way. Look, it was an honor to speak to you. It's always an honor to have you, but have you on my show was an honor as well. Really, I was actually looking forward to have you, and it's glad. I'm actually glad you found a picture, or else you would probably not show up on my show. I would have done with any other photo to have you on the show. Well, now comes the difficult part,
Yep.
or the fun part. So you have to really use your brains in order to get this right.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to share the screen with you. I've got you in cricket as well. I'm hoping to get you again now.
Yes, I've been practicing in the backyard.
Well, guys, if you don't know, Viv's actually a great cricket player. But as you know, the great fast bowlers, they always come from Pakistan. So, we had a little game in the basketball court, and where I was just flying like Imran Khan, and I just got him, and I really got him right in the middle stump. So I know next time, if you really want to be in a great team to win, then that's my team, not the other team on that side. Would you like to say something?
Well, I would probably say it was, like I said, one of my worst days in cricket, in my cricketing career. But no, it was always pleasure to play against. Pleasure to play against you, honestly. And it was good to have that at school as well, where everybody got involved regardless of their abilities. And I felt like it was a good bonding experience for the teachers. And honestly, I feel that's something as a well-being that can be done as well. Like having activities like physical activities when we get back to school together, because you can bring smiles on people's faces and brings out talents that you didn't think they actually had, and gives people a go as well.
I think, you know what, we should have a game. Me and you choose a team from the staff. So we get to pick, those old ways of picking. You choose one, I choose
Yep.
one, until we get a whole line behind ourselves,
Done.
and we go for a game then. Okay, that's done, and we get Miss Mona to sponsor that game. Now let's go to the quiz, and hopefully, I'm really going out for you that you actually get this quiz. By the way, you said India didn't have a good night. So what happened last night? India did not. So the test started against England, isn't it?
Yes, it
So,
did.
so what
And
happened? Did they lose a lot of wickets?
well, I would probably say there's one thing India and Pakistan have in common, that there is literally zero consistency. So yeah, I would probably they were in 7-8 all out.
78.
Yep,
What did your captain do? Captain Kohli, what happened to him?
nothing, honestly.
Oh, that's
It
not very
felt
good.
usually I'll stay awake till about 1, 2 a.m. to watch it, and I was like, no, this is not worth it. Turned it off. I don't want to suffer the next day just because. And I was what? I woke up and saw the score in the morning. I was like, it wasn't worth it. I was staying up late till.
I think you made a good choice. All right, let's go to the quiz. Hopefully, you get this one right. You don't topple up like England, like Indian team toppled up for 78. Okay, I'll play it. Listen to it. You have 15 seconds to answer the question.
Okay.
A mysterious disappearance. Amy and Chris have a little son called Noah. On Saturday, they went out to dinner and left Noah at home. When they returned, the little boy was gone. The alarmed parents called the police. The detective questioned everyone in the house. The babysitter said she had been preparing Noah's school bag for the next day. The maid said she had spent the day cleaning the bathrooms. The chef said he had been preparing breakfast for the next day and hadn't heard anything. The police immediately knew who was lying. Can you figure it out?
It was what was the maid doing?
So she was preparing the bags for the child.
Okay, I would say the maid was lying because it was Saturday. So why was she preparing a bag on Saturday for school?
All right, let's have a look at it. If you're right.
It was the babysitter. It's Saturday, and children don't go to school on Sundays.
Oh, look, it was really good. And that's where you use your scientific brain in order to get that one right. It's an honor. It's always an honor to speak to you. It's lovely to have a chat with you. And hopefully you can send your video around and hopefully you can hit the ranks. At the moment, we've got some serious contention going on where who was the last person I interviewed? Oh, Miss Hind. In one day, she's got over 100 views.
Wow. Okay.
Just from yesterday.
So I will. I'll see. Hopefully, I can tap into my my wife's family side.
Oh, there you
and maybe
go.
she can. She's got. I think she's got about 30 cousins.
Oh, there you go. So, Miss Thompson, you got some competition happening over there. 30 cousins we're speaking about.
Well, thank you again for having me, Mr. Farhan. Like honestly, it's a pleasure to talk to you. And always, I think I love our conversations that we have, like in the staff room together. It's always fun. I've learned as well a lot from you. So I'd like to. I know you love your philosophies and stories, and I like having a chat as well. I think I've challenged you a couple of times as well. And it's like to know as well. Obviously, like what is the thinking behind it? Like especially like Islam and stuff. And it's not like you said, it's a learning process for me as well. And you give and you do provide good insight. So it's fantastic.
It's always a pleasure. I look forward to have our cricket game, me and you, and we've got half the staff divided. And guess what? I'm coming really hard on you.
Don't you worry. I've been practicing my leaves.
All right. All right. Look after yourself.
Right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Lunchtime before getting ready for the baby.
When's the baby due?
It is due in, we're looking at week 10. So first of Monday, week 10.
So February time, yeah.
Yeah, or the first week of holidays. So, but a lot of, want to just get everything out of the way. So the marking and stuff. So I don't have to worry about it during my leave.
True. Then you can just focus on that. That's right.
Yes. Or I could use the marking as an excuse of not changing diapers. I don't know.
I think you leave marking as an excuse because you really don't want to change nappies. I'm telling you. Look, I've been there 4 times.
Yep.
Tell you what, it's not enjoyable. So,
Well, I will be coming for advice from a lot of you, I guess.
yeah. So, well, it's like they say fathers don't have to do a lot, but actually, it's the other way around. Fathers are the ones who actually have to do a lot.
Yeah. Well, I know. I know. But and at the same time, I am looking forward to it though.
No,
So
it's a joy in there. It's always and it's your first one, isn't it?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, so that's a lot of joy there. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was about time. I'm 34, so
Look, what's going to happen is you will voluntarily change nappies. I tell you what, because you're going to be so excited for that time.
hopefully will last. Hopefully will last for a while, not just for about a month or so.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we,
Yeah.
we pray for your wife's well-being and
Thank
also the
you.
physical being as well. And hopefully the child comes, safe and sound and healthy. And these are the most important things, inshallah.
Yeah, I know, and I'm really I'm hoping so. Hopefully, after everything's been good so far. So we've overcome whatever issues we've had. So now it's just waiting time.
Yeah.
She had a scan today as well, which was good, and everything seems to be good. Like there's no issues. Just figuring out what's going to happen with my presence in the hospital, which we'll find out hopefully by next week.